Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sempre Milan bonus podcast on Substack. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different. The summer transfer window is upon us. We are going to be going through our dream Mercatos and how Milan can complete the squad for Massimiliano Allegri. Gents,
Hello.
Good morning.
how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thank you. You?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Ben's here.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows Ben yet.
No, it's a debut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's Maddie's replacement. That's what we're here to announce.
Yeah, he wrote in an email. He just asked to join us because he's a big fan, and so now he's here.
Legend.
vibing.
Always works, that. Always works.
Yep.
So yeah, this is Ben. I mean, those of you who follow what we do on the website, which you should, of course, will have seen his name countless times because he's an article producing machine. But yeah, this is first time on the SM pod, well, the bonus pod, but main pod debut will definitely come at some point in the near future as well. And this is something that was your idea, Ben. So I'm going to let you explain it.
That's always a promising start. So with this summer being a rebuild, a reset, however they've worded it, because there's been about 50 different wordings from Fulani and whoever else. I was thinking, right, if we all do our own kind of reset and rebuild as to how we think it could go, how we want it to go, or a little bit of both. And I think we've kind of gone down the mad route of we've just gone, you know what? Yeah, because I'm looking through this list now and thinking this is not happening. I think we were the same pretty much, weren't we? We messaged on WhatsApp before and saying, I think I've got a bit extreme here, and yours was pretty much the exact same thing. So,
I mean, it's
yeah.
Dream Mercato, right? So, like, it doesn't have to be the 5 moves that we will actually make because we realise Tara is incompetent. But no, that was the premise of it all. I was trying to, I guess, not just fine tune the squad, but just like completely redo it in a way that that we, and who knows, with the way that this summer started, it might actually continue at this rate where something's happening all the time. So nothing's beyond the realms of possibility. But yeah, just for full context here, we've spent a few days preparing our lists of players in terms of movement in and out. But me and Ben have absolutely no idea who we've each picked, but there may be some overlap naturally because a lot of the sale rumors are the same and stuff like that. And in terms of player valuations, we have gone with reported values where available in the media, and where not available, going on transfer market valuations where it's accurate, basically. Because you get stuff like Cristiano, because he's 39, being worth 4 million euros and stuff, and we know that's not the way. So there is an element of realism to all of this. And then when we've each pitched our summer overhauls, AJ in the middle there, the rose between two thorns, is going to judge.
Yeah. There was no chance I was doing the research required for this one, so I volunteered to judge or sit out, and they landed on judge. So that's why I'm here. You guys don't think I do any work anyway, so now I'm proving it.
More than Maddie.
Myth confirmed, you know. So
yeah.
No, honestly, just busy week at work, so I just was unable to do what was required. So yeah, we're gonna judge it. How do we want to do it? Is it after each first player and I pick which one we go with, or at the end total?
So I think with the sales, there's nothing to judge, really.
Sure.
We're going to go through our sales first in alphabetical order, which means Ben's first. And that will give us our total budget that we're then working with for the signing. So it's a bit of added context when we're going through and naming the players that we'd sign in each position.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we basically each can reel off our signings. And AJ, feel free to interject at any point with any of the valuations you think are wrong or any big holes in our logic. That's all well and good. But I think if we go through all the names, because, you know, you can name a player and then the next move is what makes it make sense. So it might not be best to do player by player. If we just go through our ins in general, and then I think you can judge after. Is that fine?
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
All right. And you're up first with the outgoings. And I don't know if you did this actually, but what I've started from a basis of, we should say as well, I forgot to mention, we're going for net spend 0 on this, which I know sounds bold, but we're just thinking with not having the Champions League, well, not having any European football in 2025-26, I don't think we have the financial wiggle room to have a big expansive Mercato, even though certain sales have gone through. But the starting point is that Reinders, Kalulu and Pellegrino have all been officially sold already, and the guaranteed money, as per Milan News and other sources, that we're going to get for those three is 90 million euros. So
so we are starting from a 90 million surplus.
So then anything else, it will be added on to that.
Okay.
God. Right, so I'm doing it through the squad list. So for a bit further context, I made up a little spreadsheet of values. I'm doing it in that kind of thing. So we may as well start with the big one. I'm selling Minor. He's going. Even though reports in the past few days have kind of suggested that we want to keep him, I'm getting rid. I think the ship sailed. Teo's off. I've got 30 million written for him and 20 million for Magnan, so that takes us to 50. But a bit of wiggle room is definitely there because it depends how much Atleti are willing to spend. Yeah. Emerson Royale's going because I think that's logical. I've got 10 million written down. About him.
Yeah.
That's a registered job for you then. Tiar and Tamari are off. They're 30 and 20 million respectively. The midfield, Musa for 25 million, and obviously Reinders went. Chukwueze is going from the front line, and then I don't know if this is allowed, but I've gone for it anyway. Morata's being sold for 13. Okafor's going for 15, and Lorenzo Colombo is being sold for 6.
Forgot about him as well. What a knobhead.
Takes my value to about the 300 million euros mark.
What did you sell Emerson and Chukwueze for?
Emerson was for 10 million and Chukwueze was 14 million.
Oh, wow. I got the same value for Chukwueze.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to what, 300 million?
Yeah. Verge of. I think there's probably a bit of wiggle room there, but I've not spent anywhere near that.
Big. This is big. This is a big summer. All right. So yeah, I've got those three Reinders, Kalulu, Pellegrino for 90 mil. I am in the same camp as you regarding Maignan. I think he has burned his bridge with us now in the way that he's behaved in the last few days. Clearly doesn't want to be here. So even though the Chelsea ship has sailed for now, I think that other clubs will be alerted to the fact that he is very much available and that we're willing to do a deal for 2025. So I've put 20 million in there because I don't think we have much leverage to demand more. And I don't think it makes sense for us to keep him for the last year of his contract, to be honest. Like, things are already very tense as it is. I don't think that you keep a problem like that around. I can't see it being beneficial unless Allegri works a bit of magic, sits him down and says, look, let's talk about a contract. I want you as my number one for years to come. We're going to be straight back in the Champions League. But I just think too much has happened in the last few days for Maignan to walk back into this team. So I've got him going for 20 million. I've got Tomori going for 20 million as well, because that's the offer that we apparently accepted in January from Spurs and Juventus before the player turned it down. Teo, it's similar with Mike. I think it's a problem we could do without, and I'd offload him. Again, clearly doesn't want to be here. Doesn't make sense for him to be here either. A year left on his deal. I've put 17 million for him because I can see things getting really messy on that front. I mean, there's all these reports about he'll spend the last year of his contract in the stands and stuff like that. It ain't going to get to that. We're just trying to cling on to the last bit of leverage that we have by threatening to bench him for a World Cup year. But that's not going to happen. So I see him going. Chukwueze for 14 million. I've got him going. I think he's unhappy. He did an interview where he hinted that he thinks he should have had more chances than what he had. I don't know if he's a great fit under Allegri either, to be honest, in terms of what he wants from his wingers. So yeah, I got him going for 14 million, probably back to La Liga. Musa, I put 20 million to Napoli because I think it would be like 20 plus bonuses. But to be honest, 20 to 25, there's not a huge deal of difference there. I've got RLC going. I think a Premier League team will take a punt on him. Or I read that Lazio, because Sarri's gone back there and he loved him at Chelsea. He might go, but I've got 10 million for him. I don't think we get much more than that. And I've also got Adley going for 10 million because that was the buyout option agreed with Fiorentina, which they didn't trigger. Maybe that might be a bit optimistic. And I've got Pobega going for 10 million as well. Same thing. Bologna had the same buyout as that. And then I've forgotten some of the names. So say we don't get 10 million for them, you probably make up a few million from Colombo leaving. Davis Vazquez will probably fetch a little bit as well. So my total budget comes in at, per exact figures here, 211 million euros. Yeah, but there's a bit of
I got when I added it as well.
nice.
Have I overshot my budget by the way?
So that again?
Have I massively overshot my budget by the way, or does everything add up for me as well?
I had 268 when you
absolutely fine. Yeah,
okay.
that's sound.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's 268 and 211 for me. And as a reminder, we're going net spend 0. So everything we spend has to fall within, or, maybe a little over on the net spend, maybe accepted. But I've come in under with my signings. Anything to debate in terms of values so far? Are you happy with it all? Or
well, Ben, I think you're a little optimistic on Teo. I don't think we're getting 30.
Yeah, no. I think the only thing with Teo now is I think it'll probably be close to 25. That was one where I've probably done a report that's probably a few days old now. I'll let
I know we would like 30, and that's what we got from Al Hilal. But
yeah.
But I don't think anyone else is coming in that high.
No,
I think, Ollie, what did you said 17? I think that honestly could be right on the money. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a little more or a little less. But
yeah, somewhere in between like 20 would be a safe bet, probably.
Yeah.
And then let me go through the remaining numbers. You said Morata for 13?
Yeah.
That's
that was transfer
I don't
know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we get that, but I also it's possible. So I'm not gonna say no on that. I think we're good with everything else.
His loan deal is really, really weird as well. Like he's actually still on loan until next winter. But I think there are some options to make it permanent early. And it's like options that can become obligations in certain circumstances. Like Galatasaray's statement that they put out when they signed him was so confusing as to it's the most complicated loan deal I've ever seen. So I think to just put him down, the sale of that amount is fine. I'm not going to contest that. And also, like, if we do get him off the books, like his salary's huge. So that's another thing to mention as well, is that it would have become way too complicated if we started trying to predict net and gross salaries for all these players. So we've gone on transfer fees. I think there probably would be a little increase in the wage budget based on the players that I've got down here, but nothing colossal. Like we won't be doubling our wage budget or anything. So I think just have to roll with that. But yeah, I also like to say as a little disclaimer, I've got Adley and Pobega going for 10 million each. Now I'm not deluded enough to think that someone will just come and definitely pay 10 million hard cash. It's probably going to be another loan with option or obligation on them, but I'm hopeful.
I don't think 10's unrealistic, though.
No.
I think that is a fee you could fetch. Like you said, that was the option for a lot of these guys, sadly. But yeah.
Who do you reckon is more likely to go? Like for that, like if say for example there was 10 million on the table from somebody, who do you reckon is more likely to be the player that they sign? If that makes any sense.
I think Pobega, simply because he has the homegrown going for him.
Yeah,
that someone else could use. So
yeah, I mean, it would be a pure capital gain for us with that if we did it. So that would give you even more wiggle room. I think Adley he had the more impressive season. He actually put up some decent-ish numbers with Fiorentina, but he had some injury problems and stuff. Pobega, who knows? Like now, Rabiot's not coming. He might become our Italian Rabiot. But I've binned him off.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go department by department, or should we do our full list?
I think department by department works better.
All right. Yeah. So we'll start with the goalkeeper then. We'll go back to front and we'll start with goalkeepers.
Who's starting first?
Ben. Do you want me to go first? Yeah, okay.
Alphabetical.
I wrote down 3 names initially and kind of had a look at all 3. Those are Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, Lucas Chevalier, and Milos Villar. And I went with Milinkovic-Savic. He's got a 20 million release clause. He's 28, so he's again adds a bit of experience into the team. His record this season is phenomenal. He was in my opinion, the best goalkeeper in Serie A. And for a price like that, I feel like you're probably getting a good keeper for at least 3 or 4 years, and then that's also when you can kind of look to see if Torriani is going to improve. I've kept Sport Yellow around, and then